I want to make a game, but not just any playable game, that's way too easy. I want to make a game that after playing, you can say, yeah, this is alright. I've had plenty of ideas that could make for an interesting game, but I never really did anything with them because I'm a perfectionist, and naturally that means anything I come up with is going straight to the fucking trash. This is my old game-ish. It might look basic, but I really did put a lot of work into it, and it had some pretty interesting ideas. The main concept of the game is that these diamonds, they're like power-ups. So whenever you collect one, you get a dash or a double jump, and usually you have a limit of how much of the power-up you can use. And the thing was that you can only have one power-up, so it was like a puzzle mechanic, how to solve the level by picking up the power-ups in the correct order. Also, one of those power-ups was able to switch your gravity, and if you die with inverted gravity, your corpse has inverted gravity too. Look at this guy, isn't his corpse just the cutest thing in the world? And I also had a lot of other ideas and a text file with over 200 lines briefly describing various mechanics, ideas, concepts, visuals, anything that I could have potentially added into the game. But the game had no direction. The game could have been a platformer, a game that's meant to be defeated by pressing the keyboard in a difficult way. But also it could be a puzzle game because you need to think, and once you know the solution to a level, it's not really that difficult to beat it. And I just really couldn't decide which one to pick. Since on one hand, all the power-ups, all the double jumps, they seemed like the perfect mechanics for a fast-paced platformer gameplay. On the other hand, I really did not want to make a platformer like that. That shit's basic as fuck. I want to make a puzzle game. But on the third hand, is the concept of simply switching power-ups by picking up a diamond really a good enough mechanic for a puzzle game? And after some back and forth, I never really decided what I want to make with this game. Well, I could have also decided on making a platformer that also has a puzzle element. But frankly, I was too busy trying to decide what I want to make, so shut the fuck. Anyway, that's where I love the game. And whenever I try to come back to it, I just keep having the same dilemma of choosing between a puzzle and a platformer. Until today. Well, not actually today. By the time I upload this video, a couple days will probably have passed, but stop interrupting me. My revolutionary idea is a new game. Yes, abandoning old projects for new projects. But this new game hopefully would be a game with a clear direction, a direction towards the puzzle element. The basic premise is that you have the same skills, power-ups, or whatever you want to call them, but they're limited per level. And the only way to switch between your power-ups is to die. Dying is an intended mechanic in the game. Here's the most basic example I can come up with. Oh, and of course everything in the game currently is made of rectangles and triangles. This is mainly so I can test the gameplay without having to make art. That part comes later. The level has one dash and one double jump power-up. The double jump is supposed to be purple while the dash is supposed to be red. You first spawn with a double jump and then you jump up to collect the key and remove a wall. Since you can't really double jump through those spikes, you have to intentionally die and select the dash power-up. And after selecting the dash power-up, you can dash through the spikes and win the game. Congratulations. And while the mechanic is basic on its own, I'm hoping to extend it with various other ideas, like checkpoints with a twist, more complex keys than just removing a wall, different power-ups, hopefully some that synergize with death, and everything else that I'll tell you in the upcoming videos. I'm gonna leave most of the technical and graphical information about the game for the next video, since this is just a why instead of what. And for the end of the video, I want to tell you why I'm actually making this series, and what kind of information I'll actually show in this series. So first of all, I kind of have a YouTube channel and I should make videos on it. But the bigger reason I'm making this series is to just motivate myself to do stuff and to motivate myself to learn stuff, since there were a lot of moments while making my old game where I just wanted to implement some sort of an idea and I generally just couldn't find a way to do it through Unity, and I kind of just said fuck it, Unity is garbage, and just stop the coding for the day. So I want to have less of that. And And as to what I'll actually talk about in the series, well, obviously I'll talk about the game and what features I'm making. I'll try to focus a bit on what kind of challenges I faced while implementing some sort of feature, but mostly on what's my thought process while implementing some sort of a feature. So I'd consider myself someone who, well, knows a decent amount of game development, even though the last game I made was like 4 years ago. But the thing is that I really done a shit ton of research, and I do believe that I have a decent amount of knowledge on what game ideas could be good and what game ideas are bad. And through this years, I'm just hoping to explain why a certain thing could be good and how it could be good, and maybe just possibly compare it to any other game that I'm aware of. Maybe that will be interesting, entertaining, and what's the word? Educational. See you on part 2 of Live to Die. Name subject to change. Seriously, can someone recommend me a better name?